So we've looked at allowing and blocking individual devices. Let's now have a little bit of a look at mobile device mailbox policies. We can see here that we have a default mobile device mailbox policy that is created by Exchange Setup, and it's pretty wide open. We can see a description over here that says it will allow mobile devices that don't fully support policies to synchronize. Passwords are optional and device encryption is not required. So really that's a pretty weak policy, but it is the default policy, and I guess it's designed to make ActiveSync as easy to get up and running as possible. If we look at our recipients, we can see that default mobile device mailbox policy is associated with Alan Reed here. So let's have a look at what would be the impact of changing some of the settings in this policy. Now we can create a new policy if we want to. We can make that the default, which would mean that any mailbox that is currently configured to use the default will switch over to that policy instead. Or we can just modify the existing one. It really depends on your organization whether you want one policy that applies to all devices or whether you're going to create multiple mailbox policies for ActiveSync so that you can meet different security and compatibility goals. I'm just going to edit the default one and make it a little bit more secure. First thing I'm going to do is not allow mobile devices that don't fully support policies to synchronize. Now if I save that change, let's go back and see what the impact is on this remote connectivity analyzer. So we see now that my connectivity test fails. It gets through all of the auto discover and connectivity steps that it got through earlier, but when it actually gets down to the steps where it's doing commands within an ActiveSync session, that's where we start to see some failures. So let's jump into PowerShell and see if we can understand why that has actually happened. We'll look at the mobile devices associated with Alan Reed. So here is the test ActiveSync connectivity device. It's in a device access state of blocked, and the reason is policy. So this remote connectivity analyzer is just a testing tool. It's not a real mobile device. It can't actually apply all of the policies that a mobile device may require of it, such as having a password or having device encryption. And so it will actually fail anytime we have a mobile device mailbox policy with this box unchecked. So unless we're allowing mobile devices that don't fully support these policies to synchronize, unless we're allowing that, the remote connectivity analyzer will fail. Now what you can do is create a separate mailbox for those tests and create a separate mailbox policy that you associate just with that one mailbox that is a little bit more relaxed and allows that option so you can still perform those remote connectivity tests. So there's another reason why having a dedicated mailbox for these tests is a good idea. Now clearing that checkbox breaks the remote connectivity analyzer, but it doesn't affect the iPhone that Alan Reed has already got set up. You can see that device has remained in an allowed state. So let's see what we can do to cause some policy issues then for that iPhone. Now I happen to know that the iPhone has a passcode set, but it's only a 4-digit numeric passcode. So let's change our policy now to require a password. We'll allow simple passwords, but we'll increase the minimum password length to 6. Now this change may not kick in straight away. You may need to be patient and wait a few minutes before before that policy change takes effect. So let's have a look now at the mobile devices for Alan Reid. There's that test device, which is still blocked by policy. You can see here that the iPhone is now also in a state of blocked by policy. And it will stay that way until the device is made policy compliant again. So whether the policy is changed back to 4 digits or the device itself is updated to use a minimum of 6-digit passcode.